Welcome back, Fatty, to the Phat Chat, where the pH is as toxic as the Axe body spray in the boys' locker room. I'm your host tonight, Chone, joined by Joshua, Cisco, and Neff. Here on the Phat Chat, your interests are our interest, usually. As we've mentioned, we need your help. If the Phat Chat can reach 1,500 followers on Instagram and 1,000 plays on any platform, we will be holding another raffle with the grand prize of 2 topic rights and a PS4. An update on that. With your help, we're at 1/3 of the way. I mean, I think you guys can do a little bit better. I mean, 1/3, let's get 50% of the way there, guys. We're almost there. And to be honest, the PS5 is out now. So if you guys can get us the followers, then maybe, just maybe that raffle will be a PS5. You never know, no promises. So help us out. Post us on your stories and your feed, shout us out, and we'll do the same for you. Today, we're going to be talking about bullying, how to handle, how to set boundaries, and when should you walk away. We do have a guest, Violet. She's going to be helping us out with these responses. But first, let's see what you guys say, the fatties. And I'm going to ask you for your help, Cisco, on reading us these fatty responses.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and read the fatty responses. So this one, okay. So 22. Wait, let me read the question first. Do you guys condone any form of bullying? 22% said yes, and 78% said no. Nef Al Kasur says clear liver shot right there.
But
There should be a
I think
picture.
there should be a
There's a
picture.
picture.
There's a picture
Yeah.
there of a guy
We'll
like
insert a picture.
shoving his head in the locker.
It adds context.
Yeah.
He's
I don't
really
I don't
awesome.
see no picture. I think you guys
We
messed
could
up on that
insert a
one.
picture.
Yeah,
Check us out on
just-
YouTube.
We'll just
There'll
insert
there'll
it.
be a
Yeah.
shit
And
there.
then Homeboy Bispo says call their mom. That's really smart. I would do the same.
Dude, just get on that cell phone, bro. Like, what's wrong with
Mhm.
that? Just get on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mur_Magana, he said, ask him/her what is going on at home to act this way towards others. Don't know if it's sincere or not. So maybe the bullying is sincere, but we don't know.
I don't know. It could
What?
stem from something. I don't know. I think Mr. Magana is just trying to be the the therapist, I guess, try to see if there's a deeper issue with that bullying. But
Mhm.
Possibly.
I don't think if he's being bullied, I mean, I don't think that's your role, man.
I mean, think about it. Like, you're shoving a kid's head in the locker, and some guy comes up to you. Excuse me. Is everything okay at
okay?
home?
You're right there, bud.
I don't think that's sincere.
and probably not.
Alrighty. Ghost Kate J-Poid, he said, step in front of the abusing loser and defend should he attempt to assault me for interfering. Nice.
It's such a
What if
Fortnite
you get
response.
sucker punched?
It's so
What if
brave.
you get sucker punched and just knocked out cold? Just like laid out?
Alrighty.
That's a real
Silly
hero.
Lily, they said, I definitely speak up and tell them all to cut it out. And then if they don't stop, I'd put the attention on myself.
I think. Do you think that means she'd sacrifice herself?
I think so.
like that's it's like the what is it? The take me.
I don't know what reference you were making, but I liked it.
Oh, from How to Train Your Dragon 2.
I watched that movie. I don't remember though.
No, you. Oh, never mind. It's okay.
Anyway,
Those are good movies though. I believe you. All right. My_Agame73 said, slam his head into the locker and run. That's very brave.
That'd be like a
Kids?
yeet. That'd be a yeet
not to
moment,
bully the
wouldn't
kid, just like hit him again.
it?
Help the bully.
You're not doing it right, buddy. Let me help you
No,
out.
what side is she on?
Have you guys seen the video of they're like beating up a kid and like 3 guys come out of the store and they look and they run over there, but they just start beating up the kid too?
No,
It's
dude.
pretty funny. Q Juice said, step in. No questions asked. I want the smoke.
He wants that smoke.
Popa
Can we get a
Ebo,
translator? Wait, can we get a translator on that? I don't know what that
Oh.
meant.
Oh,
It
he
means
wants
he-
it, bro. He's just like,
like he wants to
you're
get
about
beat
to
up
get it.
himself.
You're about to get it.
Yeah.
So, putting up.
So you approve of smoking?
What happened?
You approve of smoking is what you're saying?
Barbecue smoke.
Nice. That was a good save. Alrighty. Popa_Ebo said, I would step on his face while he is on the ground and ask him how it tastes and feels.
The kid being bullied or the bully himself?
I think the
The kid.
Probably the buddy. What?
The buddy?
I mean, the bully.
The buddy. Bullies aren't buddies, Josh.
Probably
right.
the bully.
Dirk Tarzane said, "Tell the dude to cut it out and tell the kid getting picked on to be proud to have been singled out."
You should be so happy your face hurts right now. Feel it. Feel it.
Feel that
inside.
pain.
Out
Feel
of
that
everyone in
pain.
the school, he chose you.
You
But
have
you know
something
what? Do you
special.
think? Do you think he has a bit of a point? Like with people, you know, like maybe the kid is like a really smart kid, you know, and
That's true, actually.
You know,
but
and
what
it's
if
just
what if the kid's favorite Star Wars trilogy are the sequels? You know what I mean? It just depends.
no, then he deserves it.
Yeah,
Like, he deserves
that's what I'm
everything
saying.
that's happening on that locker right there.
Victim blaming? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, basically.
Babi_Nay19 said, "I hate bullying with a passion, but I would show self-control. Just say leave him alone, then deck him."
Nice. Deck of cards.
That's really good. That's good
some
self-control
poker.
right there.
Very much so.
That's amazing self-control.
Hey, it takes a lot of control.
To beat
punch.
someone up.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah, it does. Yeah, it
You have to
does.
like
Control them.
aim with your mind, you know, and then just do.
Give us a one on one on that one again. How to do it? Cisco?
I don't know. I just watched a YouTube tutorial.
I see.
Just kidding.
How cast?
YouTube self-defense classes.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Oh, those real. I will take them.
Dude, I guarantee throughout this pandemic, there's probably been like so many like online self-defense courses and stuff.
Probably. All right. Losker432 said, "Get paint for the locker because I'm a janitor." LOL, for real though, I'd stop the kid from being picked on. Always stand strong with those who need help.
You just read
But
lol.
what if
Yeah.
what if the bully needs help?
Yeah.
It's all about a perspective. What are we looking
Hey,
at?
Yeah.
the bully needs help at home, bro.
What if that's true?
Or his
man?
self-esteem. Could be, you know, to scale. He might be playing Cyberpunk for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a
I
punk.
know. But I mean, paint for the locker room?
Hmm.
I don't know.
What does that mean?
Because he's a janitor, so he has to repaint the locker.
Yeah, because it's damaged with blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's
think
kind of
what it
violent. I don't like it.
Have you,
is. You probably play violent video games.
like
That's not cool.
cyberpunk, cyberbully.
Like,
Well, I mean, you can't be a punk in the real world, so you got to be a cyberpunk.
yo, that's
Oh,
good
true.
right there. That's
Sponsor
why the
us, guys.
makers made it.
Yeah.
Sponsor
Yep,
us. 2077, here we come.
That's what it is. Oh man. All right. So I had to turn my video off, guys, because I'm so over my computers. So I'm just gonna be without a video for now.
Oh,
It's not working for me. I'll try it later, but I'll ask one of you guys to kind of take over while I try to turn my video on, make sure I don't die. But let's get on. Let's move on and ask for our guest here, Violet. Welcome to the Phat Chat.
Thank you.
All right, and Violet. Well, let me introduce Violet here. I've known her for a while. Not always pleasant, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. She's my sister, guys. Glad to have you here on the Phat Chat.
Thanks.
yes. Welcome to the show.
Thank
How you doing?
Good,
Welcome.
thanks. Glad to
Alrighty.
be here.
So before we start with the questions, tell us a little bit about what you do and how what you do kind of would help us get a different perspective on bullying.
Sure. So I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I work in the field of mental health, and I've been working in that field for a little over 8 years now. So I've worked with kids, I've worked with adults, I've worked with parents, I've worked with educators, and bullying is definitely something that comes up in all of those different populations, whether it be with little ones or with adults in the workplace. And definitely something now that gets a lot more attention than it used to from when I was a kid, I remember, because, bullying has been around for as long as time, but now it's much more, people are much more aware of the effects that bullying can have. So that's kind of the perspective that I'm bringing in today.
All right, cool. Thank you. So,
Can you tell we have issues, like psychologically?
No.
Nice.
Believe it or not, I cannot tell just by, talking to you for a couple minutes whether you have issues.
What?
So you don't know how to do
I do
witchcraft.
not.
Okay.
Sorry.
So
The only way I would
if I
know is
come
if
up
you
to you
share
and
it
I'm
with
just like,
me.
I have a gun in my backpack.
What's that?
Can you tell then?
I don't know. You may have a permit for concealed carry.
And I'm in front of a school.
You might have issues then.
I might have issues.
then you might have issues. That's a horrible joke, Josh.
Yeah,
Horrible
that's
joke.
Oh
That's
shoot!
streaming
I'm
issues.
sorry. Yeah, that's right. With
Yeah,
the streaming issues we got going on in America, that's my fault.
Yeah. You just enabled all that. Ignore Josh's last comment.
Ignore,
and joke,
ignore,
guys.
ignore. Unusable.
Just cut it out. Cut it
Let's mute
out.
him
Cut
for
it
a few
out.
minutes.
Alrighty. So, all right. Um, so how do you deal with bullying? Walking away, Violet, is this a good solution or in line with the escape, hide, fight method?
Yeah. So, like I said, bullying, there are a lot of different effects of bullying. It can range from mild to very traumatic. I've worked with people who have experienced, all kinds of bullying, and you guys have probably seen in the news where bullying has gotten out of control to the effect of where people get, physically hurt, end up in hospital, and have even died because of bullying. So it can become very severe. So I wasn't sure, like, walking away. So let me go back to your question of walking away. So, what we know from just experience and research with bullying is walking away. Although, like, I remember when I was a kid, that's what I was told, like, just walk away, just ignore, avoid it. And what we know now is that walking away actually can make bullying worse. So if you have a bully, whether you're an adult or a child, when you just walk away from it, and that's just walking away, not saying anything, then you're actually empowering that bully to bully you even more. So it can have kind of a backwards effect. So that wouldn't be the best method of dealing with a bully.
Would it
So
be
you're
like you want to like learn? Obviously, a lot of bullies just don't know how to express their emotion or like use their words effectively. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, and someone had mentioned earlier when you guys were talking about bullying that maybe the bully has their own issues going on, and a lot of times that is really true. But someone else had said, well, that's, in that moment, that's not your job to figure out what's going on in their head or be their therapist. And I totally agree with that too. So while they may have their own issues, the main issue at hand, if you're being bullied, is your safety and figuring out how to get out of that situation and keep yourself safe, right? Whether that be emotionally, physically, or psychologically, you want to get out of that situation. So the best thing to actually do is to practice assertive communication. How many of you guys have heard about what assertive communication is?
I heard how to keep a Glock in my Rari. So
so,
you just,
17 shots,
so
no
dumb.
38.
I mean, it works.
That would actually be aggressive. So the different, and a lot of people don't know the difference between assertive and aggression. So assertive would be, speaking in calm, clear, and direct tones. So maybe saying something like, "Hey, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, I'm going to tell the teacher, or I'm going to tell my parents," or something like that, right? Aggressive is going to be more like, "Hey, if you don't stop, I'm going to whip out this whatever and beat you with it."
All right. Now, what
Does that make sense?
it does, and the point that you were making with psychological, like being psychologically safe, or protecting yourself psychologically, because obviously bullying has advanced with social media, the internet. There's more bullying from that side, and it gets people psyched out, right? And that's where it drives them crazy. How would you say, you can't really walk away from that unless like you turn off your phone, right? Or whatever the social media is, you delete your account. That's kind of the same thing though, because you're empowering them, knowing that they have power over you for you to go that far. So how would you protect yourself in that situation?
Can you just block them?
Yeah, so that's what I would go with the social media bullying. It's a little bit different than with the in-person bullying. Um, because there, one of the other questions that I know that you guys had was about boundaries. So there I would say really setting up boundaries for yourself and for that person would be really important. So if they're on your social media, blocking them from your social media, or if you're able to see their social media, blocking it so that you can't see their content. But also, if it gets out of hand, if it's something that's being spread around, letting somebody else know who has the power and has the authority to do something about it is really important, especially if you're a teenager or an adolescent.
Question. So with boundaries, what how do you like with, for example, like with online interactions, how do you distinguish um, whether something is just like friendly banter or if it's like aggressive uh, communication, like you mentioned?
I think when you're trying to figure out, is it friendly or is it aggressive or is it, more than, banter, you want to think about how is it making you feel, and how frequent is it? So I know guys a lot of times like to joke around with each other and kind of mess around. And sometimes it can get out of control, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes it
but
starts off as joking and then someone starts to feel uncomfortable or it starts to affect the way that they feel or think about themselves. And I think really reflecting on how are you feeling when you're experiencing those things can help you distinguish, are they being friendly or is it, is there more bad intentions behind it? And I think that's confusing a lot of times for kids because, sometimes kids have these friends who are really not friends. And, they're really doing things to either be manipulative or to just to be mean because they think it's funny. And so if you're a parent talking to your kids about, how is that making you feel? And is that really something that you like, that you enjoy, or is it bothering you?
So
That
if for one friend, for our listeners, if we have a friend who is getting bullied or we feel like they're not, or if our friend is being bullied but they don't feel like they're being bullied, how would we help them distinguish whether or not it is bullying, like as a friend?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a hard one because sometimes, we're in situations where maybe someone isn't being the best friend to us or they're kind of bullying us in a way and we're not really in a place to see it yet. Right. And so that makes it hard because if you're like a brother or a friend of someone and you see it and they don't see it yet, it's really frustrating to want to be there and try to help them and they don't see it. So in that case, I would say for you as the friend, just being there, being supportive and letting them know, when you do see something that's not okay, just like if you were to see someone else getting bullied, saying like, hey, I didn't think that was okay. That was rude or that was, unnecessary. Just kind of pointing it out to them, but not doing so in a way that's also gonna, have them flip on you because they're not ready to see it yet. So you kind of just have to meet the person where they're at.
yeah, this seems like a hard call
Yeah, for
in
sure.
general. Hmm. And I know we're talking about boundaries, and we are talking about bullying, and a lot of times we think bullying is just like with children, what are because I don't I that's when I the general topic or the opinion is, oh, bullying is in high school, it's in junior high or elementary school, as children. But what are like some other forms? 'Cause I know you did mention adults, right? So what are
Yeah.
some other forms of not just with children, but like how adults get bullied? Because I know maybe people don't talk about it as much or aren't as aware of it. Just to kind of talk about that just really quickly.
And also,
Sure.
how would you set boundaries as an adult too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way that you would set boundaries as an adult would be similar to as if you were a younger person. Um, Practicing that assertive communication, using preventative measures. So if you can, like for example, let's say you're getting bullied in the workplace, and this is something that I've seen frequently, more than you would believe. Let's say you're getting bullied in the workplace, and it happens every time you go to a certain water dispenser because this particular person is by that water dispenser, right? So a preventative measure for that would be not to go to that water dispenser, go to a different one if there's a different one available. So doing things to prevent it But also when it does happen, standing up for yourself and using that assertive communication. And the last thing would be telling someone about it. If it's getting to the point where you've done, the assertive communication, you've tried to prevent it, and those things aren't working, then telling somebody else and bringing someone else in who can help you with it. Whether that be if you're an adult, whether that be your supervisor, human resources, and if you're a student, whether that be your parents, a teacher, a principal, there are always people who are going to be there to want to help you and want to support you. But you have to share it with someone first. And I think that can be a really hard thing because there's a lot of stigma and shame that comes with being bullied. Does that answer your question as far as boundaries?
For me, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for me, I just kind of, it makes me think about, when you're kids, the whole, oh, snitches get stitches.
Right.
It really does kind of follow into, when you're an adult, hey, like this is, there's like you said, that stigma. Um,
Right.
but
As an adult, it's really hard because we kind of have this perception that bullying is a thing that happens in childhood, right? Not in adulthood, but it really does happen to adults. And I've worked with a lot of people that have experienced this to the point where it really affects their mental health or where they've had to leave jobs because the bullying has gotten so bad. So you said you asked for examples. So an example would be someone who worked in a call center kind of place, and they would go to work and some of their equipment would be missing, so they weren't able to log into their computer and be on time for work. Things would be disconnected. um, Remarks would be made. Rumors would be started, just things like that to make it to where it's a hostile work environment. um, in other places, it's been, there was another person that I worked with who worked at a school setting, and they were starting rumors about this person and just making snide comments, taking their things that they needed for work. So really just making it uncomfortable for them in the workplace. That's really what I've seen a lot of as far as adults, but it could even come from family. Sometimes we think of bullying and we think of, oh, it's, from other people outside of our circle. But like Neff said, it can be someone who you think is a friend. It could be a sibling. Bullying doesn't just happen at school or at work. It can happen in your own home too. So I mean, you can just think about how more difficult it is for kids. Like if they're getting bullied at school and then they come home and they try to ask for help or share it, and then they get bullied at home for it too. It's like a double whammy, bullying everywhere. And that can really start to affect the way someone sees themselves and just their mental health in general.
Now, what are your thoughts on like retaliation?
What do you mean?
So for example, like if someone's getting bullied and then they retaliate towards that bully by like bullying that bully.
Hmm. Well, I don't think it's gonna make the situation any better. Um, and there may have been, and I know everyone has different experiences. There may be an instance where, someone says, "Oh, well, I stood up to that bully and I fought that bully and then they left me alone." And that does happen. I'm not going to discredit that because it does happen sometimes. But in general, it doesn't usually help the situation. It can usually complicate it more.
I see.
Because then
So
things
the
can
best.
escalate at that point where it's like if it's just like what they say, right? Like if you beat me with your fist, I'm gonna come back with a knife. If you beat me with a knife, I'm gonna come back with a bat. Come back, beat
Right.
me. It just escalates like to where it can end up being sometimes, I'm assuming, deadly.
Right. And then especially, like if you're talking about teenagers, right? You got someone who mentioned high school, it can become something where, if one person says, "Okay, well, I'm going to retaliate," and then the other says, "Well, yeah, I'm going to bring my friends. Okay, I'm bringing my friends too," right? Then it becomes a group thing. And I think that's sometimes where you see some of these like group fights and other things that are taking place because they've tried to resolve it on their own and it's not really working out for them.
Yeah. And And I know you did mention and you did go into how to handle it, and um, what are the options for being in those hard pressed situations, like removing yourself from those situations. Is there any other for our listeners, like any advice like you have for our listeners who possibly may be young or old getting bullied? I don't want to be like a broken record here, but just it could be it could be a serious issue, not to make it a light issue. What would you say to our listeners out there that are kind of going through an issue right now?
Yeah, I would say, um, the biggest one is tell someone about it. If you're a younger person, telling someone that you trust, a teacher, a parent, an older sibling, that can really help you. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to intervene right away, right? And jump in there and be like, okay, I'm going to solve it all. But even just telling them, they may help you to think through, how can I prevent it from happening? Or what can I say? What can I do? And then if it gets to the point where something else needs to be done, then maybe they can step in and help you, either by, talking to someone who can do something about it, like I said, like an administrative type of person, or sometimes that even requires the involvement of law enforcement, because there are legal ramifications for bullying, whether that be in a school setting or as an adult in a workplace. It's illegal to bully. It's illegal to create a hostile work environment. And in the schools, there's policies and procedures to address bullying, because it can be a very serious issue that really affects a child's development and their overall self-esteem, and that can follow them far later into adulthood. Like I said, it could be mild, it could be just little funny things, right? That
Yeah.
don't have such a huge traumatic effect, but sometimes it can get really severe.
Because a lot of those things sometimes they fall under like sexual harassment, right?
Right.
And where it's like it like you said, it can become legal. It can become more serious than what people actually think. Like even the smallest joke that's said in a work environment can fall under that legal category, or a protected category, as they say.
Right. And for parents, I would say, if you're a parent, um, really try to open up those lines of communication with your children so that they feel safe and comfortable talking to you about some of these more difficult things. Because, like I said, if you're being bullied, there's going to be a lot of shame and stigma that comes with that. And it's going to be hard to open up to someone. So as a parent, just being available, having that open communication with them, and really listening. I know as a parent myself, imagining my daughter coming to me and saying that someone is doing something to her to make her feel uncomfortable or to hurt her feelings, bullying her. That'd be really hard. But as a parent, not overreacting to those things and really being there to listen and be supportive and help them think through and problem solve can really help that situation. And also, um, if you're a parent, knowing that you can advocate for your children. If it's happening at school, even if it's happening online, but happening online with people from school, you can still go to the school and you can still make a complaint and you can still ask the school to do something and really advocate for your student, advocate for your kid, because sometimes, there's so many kids in a school that sometimes the schools don't really um, do what's necessary right away. Maybe they don't think it's that big of a deal. But if you, as the parent, go in there and you speak up and you say, like, hey, this is not okay, you use that assertive communication, this is not okay, this is affecting my child, something needs to happen, then they will listen to you. And knowing that that's okay for you to do as the parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about that, like going to the school, I've had a friend who was getting bullied, and they went to the counselor, and then the counselor ended up going to like the bully directly. And I've heard it happens a lot, like going to the counselor, um, and then them talking to the bully. But he said it like made it worse, because then the bully was like calling him a snitch, and then just ended up bullying him more than he did before. So
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of
And
examples like that.
yeah, and unfortunately that can happen sometimes. Especially if the professional maybe doesn't know the best way to handle the situation. And in those situations, I would say, if the bullying continues or if the bullying gets worse, then it still needs to be addressed. Something still needs to happen. So not leaving it there and letting it continue, but speaking up again and going to someone higher than the counselor. The counselor is not the highest person at this school, so it may need to go to the principal. It may need to go to the district. There's always somebody higher, and if it hasn't been resolved with that person, then the parent needs to become involved, and someone else needs to be brought in. And that's where the parent plays an important role, is knowing those things, because kids don't know that. Kids don't know, like, oh, the counselor doesn't have all the say so, right? But the parents, and sometimes parents don't know that, but there's always someone else in the school that can do something.
Yeah. So yeah, there we have it, fatties. That if you're yourself are having issues, or your children are having issues, be the parent to help them out, let them know what they can do, what outlets there is, who they can talk to, and young ones that are listening, if you're getting bullied, talk about it, use that assertive communication. And I just want to thank you, Violet. Everything that you've told us, the information you've given us is good knowledge for us and for all our listeners. And I really enjoyed having you on the show, and thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. I can go on and on about it. Just last thing before I go, just to leave you all with some resources, is a website, stopbullying.gov. You can go to, and there's more outlined steps of what parents and kids and adults can do if they're being bullied. And also, there's an app. It's a free app called KnowBullying, KNOW bullying. You can download that, and it'll help you to identify if you're being bullied, and if you are, what you can do about it.
Oh, we can put these links on our YouTube, right?
Yeah, we can put the links in the
Okay.
description. So next time, there's a joke about my mother, I'll go ahead and open up that app and find out if I'm being bullied.
Double check and make sure you're not being bullied.
Oh man, yeah. So we'll actually, yeah, check out our YouTube, guys. We'll put those links in the YouTube video, and then eventually we'll add them to the Instagram as well. I don't know if we can do that or not, but we'll
Yeah, we
see.
can do
But
it
check
on
out, yeah,
all of our descriptions.
okay, for sure. Then we'll go ahead and do that. And there you go. Thanks again, Violet. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Appreciate all your input and your knowledge.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
Alrighty, have a good one.
you too.
Bye. Alrighty, so continuing, guys, let's talk about how important is your attitude. Um, we asked the fatties, and the fatties said, I'll start with the first bullet point here. We asked, does your attitude matter? 96% of you guys said yes, and 4% said no. Let's see what everybody had to say
I'm actually kind
on
of
your
interested.
responses.
I'm interested in what the 4% that
Yeah,
no. I don't know if it was either a joke or if it was just like what their mindset or what their opinion is on that. So I look forward to that.
let's hear it.
Oh,
So it's
am
Kathy
I
said.
reading?
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll read it. So underscore it's underscore Kath YYY. They said it really does. I have an attitude, but I'm heck of funny. And then underscore B underscore stunning said it can make or break you. Yes, it can. D Storm journalist said if you stay positive, it reminds you negative has an opposite. Wait,
Wait,
if
yeah,
you
say that again.
if you stay positive, it reminds you negative has an opposite.
So the opposite of negative would be positive.
So
So just stay double positive, right?
double
Wait, but if
positive.
you're double
Yeah.
positive, that's a negative.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
true.
According to
Oh,
integer math.
yeah, we're talking. That's math. We're talking about attitudes here.
This isn't math. This is psychology.
Psychological.
Different math.
Psychomologic.
Cheeky Smiles 94 says, I believe that your mood / attitude / mindset bleeds into everything you do.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Healthy. Oh, go ahead.
no, you're good. I have an opinion on that. So I agree with that. I think attitude is like a huge component into it, but I think your circumstances is also really, really important. Your environment and your association has a huge contributor. But I think the attitude that you have starts to develop and change your circumstances because you like as your attitude changes, then so does like your body is led by your mind. So like things will start to change as your attitude does. So I feel like circumstances also play a part, but your circumstances starts to change while your attitude does, because your attitude helps you make better decisions to get out of that previous
Yeah.
circumstance.
Hmm. Healthy
Yeah.
Weight Beauty says a bad attitude makes everything more difficult. I was
Yeah.
pretty sure I agree with that.
Yeah, I think it'd make everything more negative. You know, you have a bad attitude, you'll have a negative attitude. It just make issues for you.
I'm not
It's
gonna lie,
like,
when he read that, I thought about like when you're working on your car and you can't take off that bolt, or like those clips, those clips for like the
oh
wire
my
connectors.
gosh,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Dude, those are the worst, the freaking worst. I hate them so much. But like if I calm down and I just cut it off, it's so much easier.
Oh, I'll try
No,
that.
no, like it really does. Like when you're angry, like when something like that, especially like if you're working on, like you're cleaning or you're working on something, being angry actually does make the cleaning or whatever you're doing worse.
Yeah,
Like it
you get
actually makes
clouded.
you make more mistakes. Actually, like there's mistakes that I've made working on my car that I could have avoided if I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
know.
dude,
Save
I've
some
broken
knuckles.
stuff. I've broken stuff on my car because I got so annoyed and frustrated. I said, you know what, forget this. I'm just gonna do it, and I just boom, and I just snap a bolt. Or it's not
Oh,
good. It's
that's
oh
horrible.
man, it's the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah, or like when you lose that 10 millimeter bolt,
That
and,
socket.
it's the socket, and it's right
Yeah.
in front of you, but you can't see it. Yep, attitude.
Alrighty, let's go on to the next one. Slimpy. I said Slimpy. Slimpy Terra underscore says people with bad attitudes are not pleasant to talk to or be around. That's actually really true. I agree with that. There are a lot of people that like have bad attitudes, and you're just like, bro, like stop being a loser. I don't want to be around you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Are you
There you
bullying
go.
them? Is that what you're saying?
A little bit, but not
Good.
really. Check out the
Are you
website.
okay?
You'll find out.
Are you okay? As
Got that
you're
part.
having
Open up the app.
yep, get that app.
Is home life okay? Kidding.
Chase underscore half man says your attitude can affect the entire day slash situation. If you're constantly negative, then you will have a harder time seeing the positive in different situations.
So to
I
kind
think that kind of goes back to what Neff was saying about someone's environment. So because you basically create your environment, right? Like what
Mhm.
based
God did.
on, huh?
I thought God did. But it's stupid
Oh,
joke.
something like that. But it's true. It's just your attitude. It's just like what they say. Like I've met, or people say that they've met happy homeless people, right? Or people who really have nothing. Like they're the happiest people in the world. And then you have people who are rich who are depressed. They don't enjoy life. They don't see a positive outlook on life. And it's like, but they're both situations are on the extreme Richter scale or sides of the scale.
Yeah.
But like if you start your day nice, most of the time things that happen through it can't really ruin it. But I think that's just a matter of perceptive.
I think
Yeah.
association has a huge part, because if you're consistently
Mhm.
like hanging around with people who are negative, then obviously like even if you have a positive attitude, it's just gonna like it'll start to deteriorate and
Oh
you're gonna
yeah,
have
it'll
a bad
drain you. You'll feel drained
Yeah.
from that. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like you're
How do they
having.
say it?
Hmm?
No, I was just saying, how do they say it? You put the whole fruit analogy. You put one bad fruit in a
Oh,
basket of good.
one bad apple spoils the bunch.
Yeah, exactly, just like that. What you
Yeah,
guys were saying.
because like
You
you
have to
have,
pull it more.
yeah, because you have what's it called? You have everything that
Apples?
you're trying to bring up. No,
Oh.
everything that you're trying to bring up as positive, the other person is like, "Woe is me." It's like,
Mhm.
I think we mentioned it before, where it's like you can have a list of all things positive that are going on in your life, but because two negative things are happening out of like the 50 positive, you're focused on those two negative instead of the positives in your life. What's going on, So it can definitely drain you. That when you try and help somebody see those positives, just like, oh well, yeah, you're right, like that is going on, but haven't I told you about what's going on in my life with this part? And it's like, yeah, 100 times already, but I'm trying to help you get over it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and before we get on, continue with the attitude, I do want to talk about, kind of mention it, just the structure of attitude. I added it here, and I'll use the illustration of spiders, kind of get a better understanding. So you have the affective component. This involves a person's feelings, emotions about the attitude or object. Like I said, we'll use a spider as an example. I'm scared of I am scared of spiders. That's the affective component. And then you have the behavioral, oh, I can't say that, or cognitive component. The way the attitude we have influences how we act or behave. For example, I'm going to avoid spiders and scream if I see one. So that's like the behavioral component. And a lot of people scream when they see spiders.
That's me.
Yep. I wasn't gonna out you, Josh, but if you ever want to see a grown man scream, just throw Josh a spider.
That's me, man.
Yep. And then the final structure of attitude is going to be the cognitive component. And this involves a person's belief, knowledge about an attitude, object. For example, I believe spiders are dangerous. I That way kind of see how the attitude works, if it's going to be like affective, behavioral, or cognitive. They all kind of go hand in hand.
Wait, what? I don't understand this. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
What do you mean?
The
They're just
ABC. So is it steps that develops into your attitude, or is it just like
Parts of the attitude.
it's the structure of your attitude. It's like, yeah, parts of it that create
Okay.
the attitude in a whole.
so? And
So
if
it's like,
so, if you want to change your attitude, you would start with affective component by like recognizing I'm not scared of spiders or whatever, and then going into behavioral by
yeah,
It's like I will kill spiders.
yeah. I'm not gonna avoid them. I'm gonna
Vengeance.
destroy
Kill
them.
them.
Yeah, yeah, a spider.
okay.
Yeah. And we'll go on, like, as far as help me out here, guys. The attitude can determine everything. It is the deciding factor for an outlook on any situations. It can also determine your motivation and drive. What do you guys think about
I
that?
agree with that, and the only reason why I agree with that is because it's just like we brought out, like your attitude on the situation can determine how you're gonna feel about it. Attitude is linked to so many. Attitude by itself doesn't just work. It's a component
Yeah.
of a big machine. So when you start thinking about things like, oh well, I have to go to the store. I have to go to 5 stores today because I have to get all these ingredients for dinner tonight. And if you're talking like that, you see it as a negative light, and then it's just like, oh, then you're going to feel more tired doing it. But if you're excited to make that dish for your family, if you're excited to get out there and get those ingredients, then your outlook's going to be different. You're going to be like, oh, shoot, I'm going to go to the 5 stores, get the ingredients, come home, I'm going to cook all this food. It's going to be great tonight, right? Your attitude is
Yeah.
different, and it controls how you feel. So that's where I can agree with that. And I think we already touched on who you surround yourself with, because I've experienced it personally, and I continue to experience this phrase that you surround yourself with those who are on the same mission as you, because you won't regret it. That it's a common phrase. It's said all the time, and there's really nothing like having people in your corner who support you, especially if they don't fully know the situation or know what you want to do in your life. But as long as you're on whatever path you believe is right. But there's definitely nothing like having those like-minded individuals by your side to continue that attitude, to continue having that positive outlook on whatever it is that you're doing. So,
Yes.
hate
To
you
continue
guys.
that point.
I thought you guys froze for a second. I was like, oh,
I know,
no,
me
my
too. I was like, oh,
computer.
no.
I was like, oh no,
The next
no,
point would
no,
be
no. Sorry. Okay.
it would be thinking that the people's attitudes are the catalyst to the change that they desire. It's not only about how you look at the situation, but also how it helps you mold your own environment, which I think is similar to with what I was saying before about how like it's just one portion of what's changing. I think environment and association is like the larger part of it, to be honest. But I think your attitude is what helps, like I read, mold it and change your environment. And I think having a good, like, objective look at it and understanding of oneself and your goals and what direction you want to go to helps you have a better attitude and have, in turn, a better environment for that.
And I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think there's anything wrong with backsliding on that either. Like, obviously, if somebody has a hard pressed environment, if they have if they have complete oppression at home, and they're trying to find a job, all these things that are loading on their mind, and then they feel negative at some point. If they feel negative, they feel like they're failing. I don't think that that's wrong, because everybody's going to feel that way. But I agree with what you're saying, that as long as you keep that positive attitude, it can push you through to where you can finally change your environment. Like, a lot of people, that's why a lot of people say they've came from nothing and they have what they have now, is because they kept pushing through the negative. And like,
Yeah,
and
like they said,
yeah.
we started from the bottom. Now we all. No, but I agree. I think I appreciate that point you just made, though, about like how it is okay to not always feel okay. Like, emotions are an okay thing to have.
Right.
So even if you are trying to have a good attitude, but you're still like down in the dumps, like that's completely okay. And not to like make yourself feel bad about that or guilty that you aren't always like 100% positive.
Yeah, man, because I
Yeah.
know people who are like that, where they're just like, they come to work, or I see them and they're, with a smile on their face all the time. Like, there was this video that I saw of this teacher who was in the hallway, and he was like, he just looked stressed, and then before he went to the classroom, he was practicing a smile, so that way when he went in, he would look like he was okay, right, and look like he would, like, everything was fine, so that way his students can learn, stuff like that, right? And that goes into a different subject, because then you're just putting on a facade for other people. But the point is that he obviously is feeling something, and even though he has to be positive, it doesn't mean that it's not okay to feel that negative feeling,
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of stigma behind that as well. Of that, I don't want. I'm not. I don't know if I'm hitting like a sensitive topic here, but saying especially with men, men always carry this whole, we have to be. We talked about it. We have to
Oh
be
yeah, like
this
that
way. We can't show
machismo
emotions.
type
Yeah, we
deal.
have to
Yeah.
be machismo. So and if you say, oh, I'm feeling down. I'm a little depressed, or I'm not feeling too good. It's like some people have in their mind, I can't be that way. I have to be strong all the time. I have to be emotionally okay all the time. I can't ever have, I can't have hills and valleys and stuff. But I like that how you guys are saying, it is okay. I feel like it just depends how you help yourself come out of it, and just don't stay there, because eventually you will, how you come out of it. I feel like that's the important, and that's how Neff said, that's how we mold our own environment and our mindset. Um, just don't be down there with that negative attitude all the time. Don't embrace it as a permanent. Just it's okay, but you just know you have to help yourself get out of that as well.
Yeah, it's just temporary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, what about attitude with like different things, as far as learning a hobby or a skill?
Learning what? I'm sorry, what was the question?
I said, what about our attitude towards learning hobbies or skills?
I think people have an unrealistic view when it comes to learning a new skill. It said that there aren't unrealistic goals, just unrealistic timelines, which obviously can affect our attitude. And attitude has everything to do with learning a new skill, because of one thing, which is failure, right? You will fail at any skill set that you're learning. And the thing is, now at that time, how will you pick up and move on? And I really like this quote from Napoleon Hill. I said it before: failure is not a disgrace if you have sincerely done your best. So when your standard of performance is based on being the best you can be for yourself, you can never lose, right? So I really like that one guy, that Robert Kawasaki guy. Have you guys heard of him, that Rich Dad Poor Dad guy?
Wait, didn't you talk about him in the last episode with books and booze?
I probably did. I think I did.
I
I think
Yeah,
I
I think
did.
I think you did mention him. Yeah.
So check out our previous episode, bro.
Yeah, there you go. Episode 11. So I was actually watching an interview on him, and he lost $800,000 of his investors' money in his first business. $800,000 gone. And
That's a
he
lot.
went to his rich dad and told him what happened, and his dad said, "Congratulations, you've lost your first business." And like, and that was like the advice that he got. And so then what he did after that is he studied what he did wrong, and he eventually succeeded. And the point was that he succeeded because not only did he have the right people around him, like the support system to keep his attitude positive, but he had the right attitude and the right mindset to keep going. So just because you fail, that doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean that you, even if you were wrong, study what you did wrong and keep that positive attitude going, so that way you can push through. And eventually he succeeded and got all their money back or whatever. But at the same time, it's like you just got to keep going. You can't let things stop you in life, because life doesn't stop. And that was something that was said to me a long time ago, and you don't really understand that until later on. But life doesn't stop, man. And life doesn't stop for you, and people's lives don't stop for you. So the way you see life and the way your attitude is on life and the outlook will determine how you are as a person.
And how you're gonna live your life as well too. It just, I feel like I'm saying the same thing, dancing around the same topic here. But
Twinkle
Josh, you kind
toes.
of hit everything. Yeah, just like just going in circles. But I still stand by, the mind is a powerful thing. Your attitude is part of your mindset, and with the right mindset, you're able to change anything, within yourself, with your personal self, or your physical situations where you're at. Even if it means moving from this place to that place, it could be, you can make the best out of any situation, really.
Dude, speaking of moving, like that's actually something that's really hard on, especially kids growing up. I don't know if you guys have ever moved many places. I've moved, I think, like 10 times. And within those 10 times, I've lived in 5 different cities. Um, and growing up, I think it was like three or four. But either way, it's like you get plugged out. You get taken out of your environment, and that's kind of hard too. And it goes back with what you were saying, Neff. Like your environment molds the way that you think. Like when I moved out this way, like that really sucked for me because obviously all my friends were somewhere else, and it was just, I had to start over. And then when you move again, you have to start over again. It's, it sucks. Um,
Y-
you know.
See, that's crazy. You said 10 times?
Yeah, I moved 10 times, like to
Yeah.
like different neighborhoods, different
Oh, I see.
homes, stuff like that. But even then, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, growing up, it was different than what it is now. Like back when I was growing up, kids were still playing with each other on the same block. Like they were still having friends out there. The neighbors were still talking to one another. Now it's not really like that. Like, unless like you really, really get to know your neighbors. But that, like, those were my friends too. The neighborhood kids were my friends. Like we would play street hockey. In the street, we'd have like goals with the nets. And we would play that. We would play baseball in the street with the it's funny, it's not stickball, but we would play a lot of stuff in the neighborhood, and then we'd go to another neighborhood and have to meet these new kids that were out there, and then you have to go to another neighborhood, and it really sucked,
Yeah.
having to do that.
I used to play like not street hockey. I used to play football with like kids on the neighborhood back when I was in, I think sixth or seventh grade, around there. But I had to move too. I've moved a couple times. I think 10 times or 11 times, around there. But I've never moved cities, just like houses, schools, stuff like that.
We've never had to
But
worry about that. You guys are lame.
Hmm.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know how you guys do it, because I've since I was a kid, I've always lived in the same house, right? So even I've never left the city that I'm in. I've never left what's it called? Well, I don't live in my house anymore, but I've always had the home when I was with my parents, and then I've always had the city. So for
Hmm.
me, thinking about moving, like I've thought about it. I know a lot of people that say, "Oh, I want to move out of California. I want to move out of California," and it sounds nice, because well, it's California. I like California, but it's cheaper everywhere else,
Yeah.
But for me to even think about that, it sounds good in my head, but to think about actually moving somewhere, it's one of those things for me that's kind of hard to do, where I would really have to change my attitude on it, because I've never had to do it. I've never done it. So yeah, moving jobs, okay, like that. But as far as like physically moving where I'm at, even a house, it would be something crazy. Like I struggled when I moved out, because I was on my own for a long time. And had to accept and just learn how to stay busy and change my mindset about doing things alone. Because I always like to be around people. I'm a people person. You know, everybody who knows me knows I'm always with people. I'd like to be around people, and I'm not really one to be at home alone. But I've kind of learned to accept it and change my attitude on it. So it's not something negative, but it's something that can help you just get to know yourself better.
Like
I don't
living
know.
alone? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, like living alone. Living alone. Yeah, like having your own place.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because I've always had a big household, and we're always like the house was always full of people. So when you go always having someone around, or even having your friends just, hey, come over, do this and that. I mean, we all have our busy lives now, so friends aren't as easily accessible anymore. Like, hey, want to come over and do this? Everyone got their life, or for example, you guys live far away from me, so it's a few hour drives to get to you guys. So it just that's what I was talking about, like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
but I
remember
think
when
it's
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, you're good. Go ahead.
Huh? No, you go.
I was gonna say because I think it's always good to like you mentioned about like getting to know yourself by living alone. I think it's always good to kind of take the time to be alone and to like even if you're driving, like not to listen to music, or just like even if you're just sitting like by yourself, just sometimes it's healthy to be with your own thoughts.
Yeah, there was this video that I seen um, years ago. I could never go to a movie by myself. I could never go to a library by myself and just like read a book or something. I mean, I don't really like to read, period. But or go to a coffee shop or have dinner by yourself. I couldn't ever do it. And someone introduced me to a YouTube video. I forget it's oh man, it's been years, but it's called How to Be Alone, and it kind of goes through stuff like that. And it talks about how to be alone in your house, how to enjoy a movie by yourself. That it's not wrong to do that. It's not wrong to go to a movie theater and enjoy a movie by yourself. I actually thoroughly enjoy it now because guess what? There's nobody next to me. Hey, what did this say? Oh, what? Oh, did you see that? Oh, it's you, and you really get to enjoy the movie a lot more. And stuff like that, eating dinner, going to a coffee shop by yourself, having dinner. It was weird at first, but I've done it. I've gone and had dinner by myself, and I enjoy it. I do enjoy the company of people, but that video kind of helped me change my mindset, my attitude towards doing things alone.
When I moved out on my own, I mean, granted, my schedule was really messed up. I would travel to the Bay Area and I would start work at midnight. And well, actually, I'd leave at midnight, get there around 1:30, and then from there I'd work until about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and then drive back home, and then sleep, and then get up and play games. That's what I did when I was single at my apartment, and my thoughts had a lot of hamburger helper in them. So like I would,
For me it's ramen, cup of noodles, maruchan.
dude, I lived off of spam, eggs, noodles, hamburger helper. Like it was it was crazy. I don't know how I'm
The
not dead,
bachelors.
dude. Yeah, the
Look at you guys.
bachelor life, and but yeah, like you said, showing about going places by yourself. It's kind of awkward, man. In the beginning, like I didn't like doing that, so I would always have people over too. It was always every weekend I'd have people over, but for the most part, if I went to a coffee place by myself, some of the best experiences that I've been by myself, out and about, because you get to meet random people. But a lot of people today will probably, look at that and just be like, you're a weirdo. Like, why
Yeah,
do you talk to strangers? But it's like, dude,
it's not
talking
acceptable.
to people is fun. Like, you just get to like, I went to AutoZone the other day, and I was there and I needed some Jack oil, and this guy looks at me because I pick up VP Racing, sponsor us. I picked up this VP Racing additive, and this guy, he just goes, "Do you like using that?" And I was taken off guard because like, why are you talking to me, bro? Like I'm just looking at this product, and he goes, "Do you like using that?" I go, sometimes. Like I've used VP Racing gas like at their gas station. And I love their gas because it's like super high octane. And he was just like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Yeah, I don't use that on older cars. Like if you have a newer car, sure, but on older cars, I don't use that stuff." And I was just like, "Okay, that's cool." And then he started explaining to me why he doesn't use it on an older vehicle versus a new vehicle. And at the end, I was just like, "Cool." That's good to know. Like, good knowledge. And it was just funny because he was talking about even like to the very bolt, like to the bolt of how that stuff like corrodes the bolt. Like if it's an older vehicle, like it loses the threading, like it doesn't hold things as tight as it used to. But stuff like that. And if I didn't go to AutoZone by myself and I just wasn't there, I wouldn't have that conversation. So it's like, and it was just interesting to me. But yeah, so, and my conversations have started like that too. Like there was this one girl, she picked up a cookie, and I was just like,
girl?
yeah, there was a girl. Yeah, obviously in my single days,
Gosh.
she picked up this cookie, like a big pack of cookies, and I was and they were oatmeal. They were oatmeal and oatmeal raisin. And I was just like, I don't know how you can eat that. And she looked at me and she goes, huh? I go, I don't know how you can eat oatmeal raisin cookies. And she goes, well, I like them. I was just like, but you don't like chocolate chip? Like, and it was just funny. Like, we just started going into a conversation about cookies, right? Just because I was just like, you don't like chocolate chip? Like, you don't like sugar cookies? Like, there's no other cookie you like or prefer other than oatmeal raisin? And she was like, no, like, I like oatmeal raisin. And so we went off the conversation like that. But it's just, I've had conversations that start weird and end good too.
Is this person now your wife?
No. No.
That would have been a great story.
Yeah,
that would have been
no.
a great story.
She's somewhere else out in the world.
Oh, who knows? Well, that kind of like, I don't know. People think I'm weird also because I talk to random people and I'm real talkative. But I mean, for those who think that's weird, why not work on it? Why not make it something, if you struggle with talking to people, why not be like, hey, I want to work on that. I want to get better at it. Because it is really cool. It's cool to have those kind of experiences. And, that way we talk about them now. So we asked you fatties, actually, about personal growth and struggles. Let's see what the fatties have to say.
Alrighty, so the first response is from got _92. Wait, was I supposed to read these?
Yes. No, yeah. You're supposed to. Go ahead.
I think they're
Okay.
laughing at me, bro. They're laughing at me. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
Keep bullying me.
I was just making sure you guys weren't laughing at me because I'd have to report you.
For sexual harassment?
It's on the website.
Oh, I see.
Check it out.
Link in the description.
In Neff's description. Okay, so the first one is from Scott G _92. A struggle has been not being able to cook all the new food I've been working on with friends and family.
You know what? I think that's been a big struggle for everybody. And and it sucks not being, the term breaking bread with one another, like, obviously it's more lost now than it is, but you never really understand how important or how great it is to actually have people over just to eat, just to be able to cook them a meal, and enjoy that with them. There's just something about it, and like it sucks not being able to have that connection like we used to.
Yeah. Alrighty, so the second one is from... Oh, snap. I lost my place. Does somebody want to take over this one right here?
Oh, sure. It's from M3 Clips _ So this person said, I think being away from Neff's mom has just been the absolute worst.
Dang. That's crazy. We're going to have to go check him out.
We have to check out his clips, bro, because they're
dude.
On Instagram?
On Instagram. Yeah,
Are you
because
YouTube too?
they're
Put the plug in.
super chill. I'll put that link in there too.
M3 Clips _.
Yeah, dude, he
check
put
him
on
out.
this kid, he put on this clip about Battlefront 1, and dude, he got absolutely blasted off of a laugh emo. It was hilarious. So
Dude,
you
yeah,
got
it
to
was
check him
great.
out.
He's like really skilled though, like the way he edits the videos, just it's really natural.
Oh, interesting. Did you find your place yet? Did you find your
No.
places though?
I did not. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
my God, you were-
can you find it?
Yeah.
We're under M3 Clips.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
No, you're good.
Okay, I found it.
Alrighty,
Okay,
welcome
so
back.
the next one, the next one's from D Storm Journalist. 2020 has given me the opportunity to be on the Phat Chat. Who are those guys? Sound pretty cute. Get 2 more books published and get more exposure. I hope 2021 I can pull off even more stunts.
Like backflips
Nice.
and stuff.
Congrats.
No,
Congrats
that
for being
one
on the
that
Phat
one
Chat.
Yeah.
trick, the one where you put the knife in between the fingers.
Oh, the game?
Yeah, the game.
Knife name. that what
Dude,
it's
have you
called?
guys actually ever played that? Like, but I've only
Yes.
done with butter knives. I haven't actually
Yeah.
done like with the actual like sharp knife. Oh man, it's like just doing the butter knife scares me.
Yeah, no.
I do it
I've
with
only done it with butter knife.
I do it with sharpened pencils.
Ooh, that's even
Ooh,
more
It's way
dangerous.
more
You're gut-
dangerous.
You're
You should do
gutsy.
lead pencils.
Have you guys
Just
ever
get them
done that
from
at school?
get them
Like,
from Mexico, full lead.
I've done the challenge where you like do the alphabet and you keep rubbing your hand with an eraser.
Oh,
alphabet?
eraser burns.
Yeah, don't you remember? Yeah, don't you remember that challenge?
Yes.
Where it was just like you'd have to go A, Adam, B, boy, like say the letter and then the a word beginning with it, and you have to go through the entire alphabet, and then it would leave like a scar on your hand or wherever it is because of how much skin you rubbed off on from the eraser.
Yeah, no. I don't
Stupid
know about all
challenges,
that.
man. Like
Yeah.
snorting,
there's a lot of
snorting
them, dude.
snorting eraser
yeah.
shreds or whatever. Yeah,
People
Or the
did that?
eraser
Never heard of
challenge.
that one.
Have you guys heard of that? Where they just like rub the eraser on their hand.
I hate
It's like
you
two
so
people do
much.
No. Okay, so talking about stunts, what I've always thought was pretty cool. Help me out here, guys. It's those. It's like I think there's is it a switchblade, the one that opens up and you just like and you just like swing it
Oh,
around. And all
butterfly
that?
Oh,
knife.
butterfly.
Butterfly knife.
Yeah, butterfly knife. Yeah, those look like. I mean, I've seen fake ones, that are like they're not sharp, obviously. They don't have no edge, but
Yeah, they're practice ones.
yeah, I've
Mhm.
seen those, and man, people use them, and then they use the real thing. I was like, oh heck no, I don't think those things are so sharp. That's like, that just as playing like that game with the knife.
Dude,
I'm not
so
down for that.
I've had a few butterfly knives and I have cut myself. Like it's amazing because you know how like right here, it's apparently like
Yeah.
it's an important vein or whatever. I cut myself right here. Like and I was just like when I was like, oh dang, and like I had to wrap my hand. Yeah, it wasn't the best. But I loved playing with those. I don't know why I wasn't more scared of those than actually trying to stab my own fingers. Like I like you can definitely cut yourself way more with a butterfly knife than you can with with the knife trying to stab your fingers.
Yeah. I think somebody did it at a party. The knife came and like cut off their hand. I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, I was like, geez, that would suck. That would be hardcore.
All right, let's go on to the next one. Villa Vergi. 2020 helped me see what I really needed in life and to learn about what really was important and how much my family really needed me around. Also, getting closer to our creator and being thankful.
I like that. I think that's a given for a lot of us now is being able to slow down. And I think I mean obviously the world has picked back up, to where it was. It's still hustling and bustling, and there are still people unemployed and whatnot. But the world was much slower in the beginning of the pandemic, right? And it
Yeah.
kind of let everybody see exactly where their priorities were, and who we are as people, really. Like you got to see a lot of people's true colors throughout this pandemic, and I mean, sad to say, a lot of people didn't pass the vibe check.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh man.
But I guess
what are
for-
your guys'?
Oh, sorry,
no,
what'd you
go
say?
ahead. No. You go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like for personal growth on my end and struggles is, I mean, learning to be a better father and husband. Basically, it's not easy for me whatsoever. There's many days where I sit there and wonder, why did I get into an argument about a bowl in the sink, or not having a couple bottles ready for the night? It matters. Things that I never gave a second thought about all of a sudden matter and are extremely important. And sometimes it's hilarious to me, but I have to hold back my laughter because it could hurt my wife. And like, there's really some things where I'm just like, I'm about to smile, and I know that it would hurt her feelings because she feels that I'm not taking it seriously. But it's just, that's my reaction. That's the kind of person I am. I laugh or make a joke in uncomfortable situations, and so yeah. But I do need to work on that.
So are you uncomfortable every time we record? Because
Basically,
making jokes.
Basically, that's how
There we
I
go.
get through.
The truth has been told.
Because we constantly bully him.
Basically, bro, I just checked on the app
Wait,
right now, and I am at high risk for bullying. So,
wait. What I just said, was that me bullying
Sucks.
you?
let me check. Yes,
Oh
yes,
man,
it
I'm
is.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Doesn't look
My
away from the camera. Let me check.
Hey, because I have
my
multiple screens, bro.
Oh, okay.
Way to flex on us.
But I've also learned, as I mentioned in our attitude segment, that perception is really everything. Edward de Bono said that studies have shown that 90% of error in thinking is due to perception, and if you can change your perception, you can change your emotion, and this can lead to new ideas. So I've had to do that, from learning the forex skill set, fatherhood, being a husband, even in my job. My mindset changes constantly for the better. So I have to adapt, right, in those situations. And adapting is hard for so many people. And dude, I feel for those people who can't roll with change. I'm even still learning how to be a better friend. So perception and mindset, it'll definitely get me there. But that's definitely what I'm, I guess, most recent as far as personal growth and struggles. But pushing through. That's all you can do.
I, I like that you mentioned there about mindset with change and talk about the your jobs and everything, because I personally work in a job where everybody's super negative all the time, and the turnaround rate is, well, before I started doing the tech help desk stuff, but the mindset was so negative all the time. Everybody would be like, "Oh, I hate this, I hate that, I hate coming to work." And I think if I would have held latched onto that mindset as they did, I probably wouldn't have been able to move up where I'm at now. Where it's
Yeah.
like my job is, it's still, there's challenges, but it's not as stressful as it was before. So yeah, I really appreciate that you said that, because yeah, if you can't embrace the change, then you're just going to be struggling, because life is full of changes. You get hit by a train on this side, and then that side, you just got to kind of go with it, figuratively. Neff, not actually. Your face, you're like, oh my god.
Should have get hit by a car too.
No, but for for me, it just learning to be closer with my family and having patience. I that's one thing I lack. I have to be patient with everything and everyone. A lot of the times, I just kind of, if I get in a situation, even with my family, I'll just kind of go and I'll take off. I'll go like on a trip or something, just avoid and go do something else and be done with it. Issue's done, it's resolved. Out of sight, out of mind. But really been able to practice patience, is staying, knowing when to speak and when not to speak. And it's not something easy to do, but it has helped me, just really think about it, not taking off, listen, hear them out, talk reasonably, and then just having patience with everybody. It brings you closer to your friends, to your family. Um, I always got to remember that people see things differently, and well, you gotta let people tell you, express how they see things as well. That goes along with kids. My nieces and my nephews. Sometimes I get frustrated with them, because but you got to let them be kids. You got to be understanding and patient, because you got to, like we've talked about. You got to let kids be kids. Um, I don't know. I'm
Just punt them
continually
when they get annoying.
just no, you can't do that. And no, and you know what? And working on this says, like, I enjoy, like, my nephews come over and we'll watch the Mandalorian and stuff like that. So it's fun. Like we'll play games and stuff like, and it brings everybody closer. But I'm always constantly working on these things, and hey, and if you're working on something, just know your trouble areas, what you got to work on. And I think everybody should kind of work on our own personal strengths and weaknesses. Turn those weaknesses into like a strength.
Yeah, so for me, it's been pretty similar to what Chon was saying about having to have self discipline, and being patient and understanding and reasonable. And like self control is a big thing because I've had to go through a lot of changes very rapidly. So like constantly being in uncomfortable situations, like knowing that what I need to do is not always what I want to do, and like having to put my mind first before my emotions or before my body's reactions or like the anxiety that I have to go through. Um, that's like self control has been a big thing that I've had to kind of refine and work with, um, as well as like being understanding and knowing both sides of the situation, and even recognizing, okay, just because you've heard both sides, I might not always know the full depth of everything, even though like I've heard from both sides. um and being understanding and being willing to forgive and move forward regardless of whatever the friction is.
I thought you were gonna say the frick. just stop at the frick.
I mean, that works. Let's plug that in. Just clip it out.
Yeah, I see what you guys mean though. For me, I've kind of like I think it was in the beginning of quarantine, a little bit into the middle. I kind of struggled with like responsibilities, especially because of having school. Like even though it's online, nobody really sees you doing your work or anything, and I kind of took advantage of that. Like, oh, I won't do it right now. I'll do it later tonight or doing later this. And I feel like that mentality kind of took place in other things in my life too. I mean, I've kind of been working to try to become more responsible, and I have been. But yeah, that was definitely something I struggled with not too long ago.
Like commitment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
That's
like a
good.
podcast that you might be attending with, or
Hmm.
How did how have you grown from it? Because I only asked because, and you'll see why I asked. But how have you grown from it?
I don't know. I kind of just been like, for example, I wouldn't do anything. I would what's that word? I would
Be lazy.
not
procrastinate.
lazy, procrastinate. I would
Oh, there you go.
procrastinate. And now I
Yeah.
kind of just like do stuff. So, of course, I'm still like struggling with it sometimes, but now I kind of just do stuff without thinking like, oh, I'll do it later. I'm just like, no, I have to get it done right now. And that's about it. Yeah.
No, the only reason why I ask is because obviously you're doing better and you're still working on it now, and obviously
Mhm.
that's how you've grown. But the only reason why I ask is because I have, my sister. She's also doing the distance learning, and so are some of my cousins. And I asked one of my cousins the other week, how he's liking the distance learning because they've been doing it. They're in the Bay Area, and their county is under way more restriction than our county here. So I asked him, how it's been, and they haven't been at school since the beginning of the school year, and before then, right? Like as soon as everything broke out, they haven't seen a school door since March, or a classroom since March, and
Same.
and so with him, he has to be around. He likes being around people, and I think I've asked you this before on what the difference really is, and he put it in a way that actually was kind of interesting because he said that when you're in a classroom, it's not that you're held more accountable because there's somebody watching you. When you're in the classroom, he said for him, there's things to look at. He goes, if you're in your room and you're learning, you get more distracted by the things that you like. But he said that when you're in a classroom, you get distracted off of things that you don't know or things that you don't get to see all the time. And so it's just like you may get distracted by the trees that are outside. You may get distracted by a book that your teacher has right there. It's like, oh, that book's interesting. But it keeps your mind stimulated. Whereas if you're at home, you're already used to the environment and your mind isn't as stimulated. So then you get bored. You get bored quickly. And I was just like, that's interesting on how, he on his take on it. But I asked him how is he pushing through? And he was just saying that he has to focus on the screen. Like he has to focus on the screen, and he does everything in his power to like turn everything off around him. He even like takes things away. He takes things away that he would normally like play with or like as the teacher's teaching. And but yeah, no, obviously a lot of people just like you have struggled with that, but he's better now, so obviously you are too. But yeah, that's why I asked.
Yeah, kudos to you, man, because I don't know. I
Thank
couldn't
you.
because I mean, that's something that I work on too right now, It's just not being procrastinator, getting things done when I had to get them done, with everything. And I don't know, I couldn't do the distant learning. I just think I would get too distracted. I know I could if I really, really had to. I probably could, but it would be a big struggle. So, hey, man, kudos to you for being able to do that. And just, it's something that I have to still work on because I procrastinate for everything. I'm the worst.
Oh,
All the
dude,
time,
yeah.
Thank you.
of course. I don't know. But, oh, man, anybody else got anything they're working on? Wanna chime in?
Oh, I got a gym, so I'm trying to work on my body.
Oh,
Ooh,
you got
nice.
you got
Body
a gym
yada
set up?
yada 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 yada. What?
Okay, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go work out with you.
Yeah, so no, I really did. I'll have to send you guys pictures, man. I'll have to put it on the IG. Just kidding, you're not gonna know my personal life, son. But I'll go ahead and send it to the Phat Chat group. But yeah, we just we put up a mirror, a big mirror. We have the treadmill. I'm gonna bring over the weight set. I'm gonna hang a punching bag, and we did like wallpaper to make it like a rustic look. It's actually pretty cool. And then the other half of the garage, we're almost done clearing it out, but we're gonna have that's gonna be my shop part of it. And I already set up like my tools, my jacks, all that stuff. So it's pretty neat. That's what I'm trying to work on my body. So yeah,
Me too. Me
because
too.
dude, like with everything, like I mean, the gym here still has the outdoor stuff, the outdoor activities, but it's like if I want to do that, I would just go over to Applegate Park. Like there's no reason to pay money to go and do the same exact thing that I could do at a park for free. So I'm just gonna end my membership and just work out here, and do that stuff.
Actually,
So.
quick shout out to everyone who like picked up a hobby or picked up a talent or skill set, like through the whole Rona stuff, just to keep at it. Because I try to pick up the guitar and like I suck, but
Yeah.
just a matter of keeping at it, So for those people who have been working out and who has been eating healthier, whatever you guys decided to do, like be healthy, some garbage, just stick with it. That's awesome. That's really good. So
Yeah,
keep at it.
whoever's decided to go practice at a shooting range in the field for 8 months, awesome.
What?
What?
I don't know.
Really specific.
And let's disregard that comment. I don't know what he's talking
Can we
about.
cut that? Clip it?
Yeah, let's cut it, clip it. We're done. Boom. Get out of here, Josh. No, but no, everybody, just keep working on yourselves, keep helping each other out. But that was the show for you guys today. Thank you, Fatties. Thanks to all our listeners for tuning in to the toxicity of the Phat Chat. We really hope you enjoyed today's session as much as we did. A big thank you to everyone who's listening around the world. Tune in for our next episodes for these topics. As always, please send us your questions because we love to answer those. We really do. Like the interactiveness of the Instagram. It's
Dude,
awesome. So
we've been getting way more responses lately. I think we started with just maybe 10 responses or so, and now we're getting up there.
Like
Huh?
12.
12,000, yeah, around there.
No, but for reals, hey, we enjoy hearing from you guys, what you guys think, what you guys say, and we like to talk about it here on our episodes. So the next topics we got, first topic is who is the stronger sex based on physical and emotional strength. That's gonna be a good one.
Cisco.
Second topic is grief and mourning. It might not always be what you think. And 3, what do we look forward to in 2021? Please don't forget, guys, tune in to hear that on our next episode. Like and subscribe on any platform you're listening on. If you like us, give us that 5-star rating. Don't forget, once again, we need to get to 1,500 followers, guys, on Instagram and 1,000 plays on any platform. How can you help us do that? Just post us on your stories, on your feed, shout us out, and we'll do the same. Remember, 1/3 of the way there. I think we got this. We can do more. We can do more than that. Let's get us there, guys. Let's do it. And like I said, we're going to have that raffle for that PS4 or PS5 as a grand prize. So again, thank you for Fatties for tuning in. And this is the Phat Chat signing off.
Arrivederci.